Hi everyone, Meteorologist Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio. Hope everyone is having a nice Tuesday morning. Hope everyone enjoyed the warm weather we had yesterday. Warm weather we're going to have today because Mother Nature is going to kind of slap us across the face as we head into the day tomorrow. This time tomorrow morning, could be seeing, likely we'll be seeing blizzard conditions potentially here in Lincoln and across the eastern sections of the state as another powerful winter storm, late winter storm, again, getting ready to sweep through the area as we head into the day tomorrow. So a lot to talk about over the next 24 to 48 hours. After that, things do quiet down for us, and the forecast gets a little bit more manageable as we head into the upcoming weekend and even into early next week as well. But we're going to go ahead and jump right in. First, really want to quickly talk about yesterday. 85 degrees, the high yesterday. That was a new record high. The old record was set all the way back in 1894. So that record stood for 131 years. So again, a very old record. It's always kind of notable when you can break those records with the record years that start with an 18 as opposed to a 19. So again, awfully warm yesterday, 85. Again, that's almost 30 degrees above normal for mid-March. So awfully warm. Not going to be quite that warm today, but expecting another warm day today. 7.3 inches of snow for the year. Again, that's almost 16 and a half inches below normal. But again, it does look like we're going to add to that total as we head into the day tomorrow. We needed to get up to about 13 inches to get out of the bottom 10 least snowiest winters on record for us here in the capital city, and there's certainly that potential. I don't think we'll quite get that much, but I think we might be close to that number. So your weather headlines for the day today: there is going to be the chance for an isolated shower or thunderstorm as we head through this afternoon into this evening as a frontal system kind of stalls out across the area, and we're not going to rule out potential maybe for an isolated strong to severe storm across parts of eastern Nebraska as well. But again, really the big headline is that second one there, the blizzard conditions expected as we head into the day tomorrow. But good news is it's not a terribly cold system. Again, we'll see falling temperatures through the day tomorrow. Obviously, we'll be cold tomorrow, but the cold air doesn't stick around long as temperatures are going to be rebounding back to the 50s and 60s as we head into Thursday and Friday, and then fairly nice weather expected as we head into the upcoming weekend. But a lot to break down as we look into the day tomorrow. So blizzard conditions expected. We have blizzard warnings that are in place across central and eastern Nebraska, including here in Lincoln and Lancaster County. Those are going to start to go into effect either very late tonight, very early Wednesday morning, and then are going to set to run through late Wednesday afternoon and into Wednesday evening. So again, blizzard doesn't have anything to do with the amount of snow. It's wind gusts, sustained winds, and visibility. So again, you need wind or wind gusts of 35 miles an hour or more, and quarter mile or visibility or less for longer than 3 hours. And it looks like, again, we're going to meet those criteria as we head through the day tomorrow. High wind warnings also in place across almost the entire state for the day tomorrow. Top-end wind gusts, I think, at times could approach 60 to 65 miles an hour. They're not going to be 60 to 65 miles an hour the whole entire day tomorrow, but we're going to be looking at those sustained winds between 20 and 40 miles an hour through the day tomorrow, again, with those high-end wind gusts approaching 60 to 65 miles an hour. So travel conditions tomorrow morning, and then really through the day tomorrow, going to be severely impacted. In Lincoln, think we're going to see that change over from rain to snow around drive time early tomorrow morning. So that morning commute certainly could be impacted, and the evening commute could certainly be impacted as well. So again, tomorrow is one of those days. You don't have to be out and about. I would encourage you to, again, just kind of hang out at home and just kind of hang out. 38, the high for tomorrow, again, is a little misleading. That's likely going to be, again, falling temperatures through the day as we head through the day on your Wednesday. And again, when we factor in the wind, the winds are going to feel even colder through the day tomorrow. We'll likely have wind chills by the afternoon into the teens to lower 20s. So today, there is a marginal risk for severe weather across kind of east central, northeastern Nebraska. This has kind of shifted a little bit northward compared to what we had yesterday, but we're not going to rule out the possibility that we could see an isolated strong storm this afternoon into this evening, into the overnight hours. The main threats would likely be some gusty winds up to 60 miles an hour and maybe some quarter-sized hail. So again, not looking at any necessarily widespread severe weather tonight, but there is that potential. Also then, if you look at the severe weather outlook for the day tomorrow, we are included in that sort of general thunderstorm outlook. So we're also watching with some elevated instability with the system that we could see some areas of thunder snow, I think, tomorrow morning. And so again, when you have that thunder snow, that means you could see some really intense snowfall rates, and so snow could pile up pretty quickly. And again, parts of east central up into northeastern Nebraska for your Wednesday morning. So that's something to watch out for. As far as the winter weather alerts, though, so again, you can see blizzard warnings cover a good chunk of the 10-11 coverage area, including the Lincoln and Omaha metro areas up into northeastern Nebraska, back through the Tri-Cities, and then back into parts of southwestern Nebraska. You have winter storm warnings that bookend kind of the western edge of these blizzard warnings out for North Platte, parts of the Sandhills up towards Ainsworth, and then we have winter weather advisories in the southeastern corner of the state where they're not expecting as much snow. One of the big issues with this storm, again, obviously, is going to be the snow, it's going to be the wind, it's going to be the travel impacts, but will be some dry air in the path of this storm, and where exactly we see this low pressure center track will play a big player, be a big player in the snowfall amounts. It seems like more often than not, Lincoln and even up into Omaha are kind of on the edge. We would really make our lives a lot easier if we were right in the middle. But there is going to be some dry air with this system that could eat into snowfall totals. So again, in Lincoln, we could see several inches of snow. Areas down into our southeast, Falls City, down towards Nebraska City, where some of that drier air is probably going to be a little bit more prevalent, may see not much, if any, snow with this system. Again, it's all going to be the track of this system. And again, it's still about 24 hours away from snow beginning. So again, there still could be some wobbles and some changes in that track. And when you're talking a wobble of 50 or 60 or 70 miles in the grand scheme of things, with a system this size, that's not very much. That's just a little blip. But for us, it could be the difference of several inches of snowfall. Regardless of how much snow we see, though, again, it is going to be very windy, and we are going to be dealing with some travel concerns as we head through the day tomorrow. So if you look at this total snowfall potential, again, a little bit different than what we had showed yesterday. Again, model trends have jogged that system maybe just a little bit to the north. So again, that's where we've seen that band of heavier snow maybe shift a little bit further to the north. 3 to 5 inches is what we're still expecting here in Lincoln for the Tri-Cities out towards Grand Island and Kearney. Columbus up towards Norfolk does look like a band of some heavier totals, 5 to maybe 8 inches, maybe 5 to 10 inches possible in extreme northeastern Nebraska, and then across the northwestern corner there of parts of Iowa. You head on again the western edge where they'll start to see some snow tonight out towards North Platte, the Sandhills, southwestern Nebraska, 1 to 3 inches of snow possible in those areas. But again, like I mentioned, with that dry air, that biggest area of question, of concern right now is into the southeastern corner of the state. If this system continues to maybe jog a little bit further to the north, we could see lower snowfall totals here in Lincoln. If that system maybe jogs a little bit further to the south than what we anticipate, again, it could pull some of those heavier snowfall totals further into southeastern Nebraska. So there's still some questions. There's still some uncertainty in the forecast. Again, we feel pretty good about it. But again, that southeastern corner of the state right now is where we think we have some of the bigger question marks when it comes to our snow. Again, it's going to be so windy, though, it's going to be hard to measure some of this snow. It's been so warm lately. The ground has been able to warm up. It is going to take a little bit of time, I think, for some of this snow to begin to accumulate. So kind of like our last one that we had, it may be difficult to measure our overall actual snow total of what actually fell when it's all said and done due to the warm ground, due to the fact that it's going to take a little bit for snow to begin to accumulate, due to the fact that you're going to have extremely strong winds with this system. Snow is going to be blowing around pretty good. So again, maybe difficult to measure, and again, in the end, it might be difficult for us to come up with a more representative official number. But that being said, we're looking at several inches, some impactful snowfall across the state to go along with those very strong winds. If you look at some of the main weather models, again, that we look at, this is for us here in Lincoln over the course of the next 36 hours. Again, it still has that pretty wide range. This is what I was talking about in terms of where's that dry air, where's that band of heaviest snow going to track. And some of these models keep going back and forth a little bit. Again, the GFS model, the American model this morning, has that drier air, has that system jogging a little bit further to the north, so it only has about 1.5 inches for us here in the capital city. The rapid refresh model, the one there on the very bottom this morning, again, it was down around the same number as the American model, about 1.5 inches. The most recent run, though, has it back up to 4.5 inches, so it's a difficult one to track, but again, most of them are in that 3 to 5, 3 to 6 inch range, which is what we currently have Lincoln in right now. NAM model, North American model, does have some higher snowfall totals here in the capital city, up around 10 inches. That would certainly be, again, the boom with this system. Again, if the system were to overperform, that's certainly not out of the question to maybe see some of those really high snowfall totals across our area. Again, the bust with this system is going to be towards the American model, the GFS there, maybe only seeing 1 inch or so around the system. But again, we think the most likely scenario is about 3 to 5, maybe 3 to 6 inches of snow for us here in the capital city. On top of the blizzard warnings, which again already kind of leads to the fact that it's going to be windy. On top of that, we have the high wind warnings that cover almost the entirety of the state. Again, much of Iowa, much of Kansas, as we're going to see very strong winds starting tonight and then through the day on your Wednesday. And again, I mentioned it, but top end wind gusts could be approaching 60 to 65 miles an hour at times tomorrow. Again, it's not going to gust that high throughout the entire day tomorrow. That's what we think the top end wind gusts are going to be around, but sustained winds tomorrow, 20 to 40 miles an hour. So again, you're going to have snow that's going to be coming in sideways. Visibility is going to be greatly reduced, and travel going to be difficult and dangerous, I think, throughout most of the day on your Wednesday. So if we look at our future wind gusts today, not so much of an issue, but you can see by tonight, 8 o'clock tonight, starting to see that wind pick up across the western sections of the state, and then that'll just continue as we head through the overnight hours and into the day on Wednesday. So by midnight tonight, we're looking at wind gusts anywhere between about 35 to 45, maybe close to 50 miles an hour across the state. Strongest wind gusts kind of across central sections of the state, we think, by late tonight, but then those strong winds are going to impact most of the state through the day tomorrow. 8 a.m. Wednesday morning, again, you can see much of the 10-11 coverage area seeing wind gusts between 40 up to 60, maybe again 65 miles an hour at times. That will continue through Wednesday morning. By the noon hour, we're still looking at those winds gusting for the eastern half of the state between about 50 and 60 miles an hour. By the afternoon, 4 o'clock, we think this is about the time that we might see snow kind of beginning to come to an end, but you can still see across the eastern, far eastern, southeastern sections of the state, we have wind gusts up to 50 to 60, up to 65 miles an hour. As we head past 4 o'clock into Wednesday evening, those wind gusts should quickly settle down from west to east across the state. By 10 o'clock tomorrow, just extreme eastern, southeastern Nebraska still dealing with some of those very, very strong wind gusts. So again, a lot to look for as we head into the day tomorrow. As far as some of the current conditions, what's happening right now, low temperatures this morning, not too bad as we started our Tuesday, anywhere from the low 30s to the low 40s for most here in Lincoln at the airport. 39 degrees for a low temperature across the Lincoln metro area on the Tempest weather stations. Low temperatures generally sitting in the lower to middle 40s to start the day today. Right now, plenty of sunshine. There's a little bit of cloud cover kind of here and there here in the capital city. It's 44 at the airport, 45 at the studio, just a light north wind at around 8 miles an hour. So again, pretty comfortable start to our day today. Across the city, we have those temperatures generally in the mid to upper 40s. There's a few spots there in the southern half of town that are up to around 50 degrees early this morning. Across the state, 30s, 40s, and 50s currently on the board. Fall City is the warm spot. They are at 58 degrees right now, 44 in Lincoln, 42 in Grand Island, 39 in North Platte. Winds generally out of the north or northeast at around 8 to 18 miles an hour. Not a whole lot of gusts out there just yet. You factor that in. Wind chills are in the 20s, 30s, and 40s for most. Satellite radar picture is quiet, not a whole lot to see as of just yet. You zoom out, look at a regional view, though, you can start to see again the beginnings of our next storm system that's arriving tomorrow with some snow showers across the Rockies and the higher elevations across parts of Wyoming into Colorado. Also have some snow showers across parts of the Black Hills up in South Dakota. Nationally, you can kind of see a little bit of that dip, a little bit of that spin off the west coast. Again, that's our blizzard that's going to be heading our way into the day tomorrow. Plenty of weather alerts out for much of the central part of the U.S. In advance of that system. Red flag warnings, high wind warnings, obviously blizzard warnings for us, winter storm warnings, winter weather advisories, winter storm watches extend all the way up into parts of Wisconsin and the Upper Peninsula for Michigan as that system will spin its way through the area through the day tomorrow into the day on Thursday. So we check out Skycast through the day today. Again, there's going to be some cloud cover as we head into this afternoon, this evening. There's going to be that low-end chance for maybe a few isolated showers, maybe a few isolated thunderstorms. Things will really begin out west as we head through this evening into late tonight with snow, again, beginning and picking up across the western sections of the state by late tonight. We start to see that chance for some rain, again, maybe some thunderstorms for parts of central and eastern Nebraska by late tonight. That chance will then continue as we head through the overnight hours, and then it's come right around drive time. I think tomorrow morning we'll begin to see that changeover from rain to snow. Again, you'll notice that dry air in the southeastern corner of the state where there's not quite as much precipitation as we head through early tomorrow morning. But again, that back end of the system, that band of snowfall will continue to push from west to east across the state as we head through the morning into the afternoon, with snow wrapping up as we head into the late afternoon hours. Though again, it remains windy. I think by 10 o'clock Wednesday evening, snow is just about wrapped up across the area, with those winds beginning to die down. So if we zoom in, take a closer look, statewide view, just dealing with some cloud cover through a good chunk of the day today. As we head towards this evening, that's when we begin to see this system really begin to ramp up. First out west, we start to see a chance for some showers, isolated thunderstorms. Again, two of those could be on the stronger side, especially for eastern into northeastern sections of the state, and then that snow really ramps up, moves from west to east across the state through the overnight hours. Here in Lincoln, we're thinking between 6 and 8 a.m. tomorrow morning is when we'd see that changeover from rain to snow, and then could see some moderate to heavy snow at times through Wednesday morning. Those blizzard conditions, snow would continue for eastern and southeastern Nebraska through the afternoon before beginning to taper off and come to an end into the late afternoon and early evening. By 10 o'clock tomorrow, snow should have wrapped up and be done with across the state. So those precip chances here in Lincoln, again, small chances late tonight. That chance really ramps up as we head through the overnight hours. Again, think 6 to 8 a.m. is when we're going to see that changeover from rain to snow, and then snow through the morning, and then those snow chances then taper off and end as we head through the afternoon into the early evening time frame. As far as high temperatures today, again, another classic spring system moving across the state today. So 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s across the state today. Not quite as warm here in Lincoln. We're going to go 77. 67 in Grand Island, 61 in North Platte, 53 in Scottsbluff for the day today. Low temperatures tonight falling down into the 20s, 30s, and 40s. Again, I'm using the word high temperatures for the day tomorrow, but we're going to see falling temperatures across the state through the day today. Most of the state likely seeing temperatures in the 20s and low 30s by Wednesday afternoon, with even colder wind chills. Temperatures will bottom out into Thursday morning with lows in the upper teens and low 20s, but then we rebound quickly. Again, snow's not going to stick around for very long. Temperatures on Thursday afternoon reaching the low 50s to low 60s across the state. Lows then Friday morning, again in the mid to upper 30s to low 40s. Friday afternoon, mid 50s to low to mid 60s. Saturday morning, it's upper 20s, low 30s. Saturday afternoon, we see temperatures back into the mid to upper 60s across the state. So again, we do see some nice weather behind this system as we get into the first few full days of spring, which officially starts early Thursday morning. You can see 66 Saturday, 60 on Sunday, low 60s by early next week. Couple small chances for some moisture Friday and again on Sunday. 10-day forecast for select cities across the state. You can see by far and away today, probably the warmest day over the course of the next week. Tomorrow, the coldest day over the course of the next week. And then some pretty typical pleasant spring weather heads our way for the second half of the week into the weekend and really through much of the week next week as well. Precip chances, again, obviously highest tomorrow. Some small chances Friday, small chances on Sunday. But really, again, after tomorrow, no big storms necessarily in the forecast over the course of the next week. 8 to 14-day temperature outlook. This takes us through the end of March, favoring above average temperatures across the state and equal chances for both above and below average precipitation across the area as well. But again, tomorrow, obviously going to be the big day. Blizzard warnings in place across much of the state. Again, I'll give you one last look here at the snowfall forecast. Again, expecting a band of some heavier snow, 3 to 2 to 5 inches, maybe 3 to 6 inches of snow, stretching from parts of kind of south central Nebraska into the northeastern corner of the state. Here in Lincoln, we're in that 3 to 5 inches range right now. But again, some dry air, and those totals in the southeastern part of the state still the biggest question mark right now. And again, where that dry air goes, how far north does this system move? again, will play a big factor. But regardless of how much snow we see, it's going to be very windy. And again, even with a little bit of snow and we have winds as strong as we'll see tomorrow, we're going to be dealing with travel issues and visibility concerns as well. So again, make sure you keep it tuned to 1011 both on air and online for updates as we head through the day today and certainly as we head into the day tomorrow. So appreciate everyone for tuning in and for watching. As always, keep it tuned to 1011 both on air and online for all of your latest forecast details.